How you doing? Timothy D. Craigett here, the founder and chief education officer for the National Association for the Advancement of Small Business Innovation, or NASB for short. What you're seeing here or listening, depending on if you're doing this in the podcast directories, the episode 0 for My Biz Needs Help podcast/show that's going to help you learn more about the innovative things that you can do to grow your business. One of the things that we wanted to do with this show that's different than anything we've done before is really involve our community. And you're going to hear about the community a lot. But we didn't want this to be a throwaway show. Normally when you're starting a new show or a podcast, you do a starter show, something that you could throw into the directories and get things started. And so that's what this one is. But I figured maybe we should talk about why this show exists and why you should listen. Is this right for you? So first off, let's answer if it's right for you. Absolutely it is. If you're into small business, entrepreneurship, automatically, yes, you qualify. This was made for you. Now, the other part of why we're doing this is a little complicated. So let me tell you a quick story. I started in internet marketing back in 2012, I believe, September 24th, 2012. And that was my entry into the world that is internet marketing. I've made a lot of people very, very rich. A lot of people very, very rich. I have no shame in that. It was a great learning experience. You get to learn that sometimes you got to do things a little differently. And I was in the business of helping people to get their messages out. Very lucrative. In that, though, you kind of get washed away in the life of being an internet entrepreneur. And sometimes you get to lose a little focus. One of the things that a great friend of mine, Ty Cohen, kept saying to me is saying, stay focused. And at that time, I didn't really stay focused the way that I felt I could or wanted to. Then this thing happened called the pandemic, and it totally corrupted everything in the world. It was totally a world changer, and it changed things for me. It made me slow down. It made me look at the people I was around. It made me look at the things I was doing, the way that I was carrying myself, the way I was doing business. And it made me think, am I serving the people I really want to serve? Am I really wanting to serve people that are already established and making them more wealthy? Or do I want to help people that's like me, that's on the come up? And I realized that there's more people that needed the things that I've done, more than the people who already had the means to pay for it and do it, because all it was just making them more wealthy. So I decided I wanted to help people like me, people who grew up in my circumstances, people who grew up in the type of neighborhoods I grew up in. But I wanted to go younger. I wanted to go with the next generation. And I started doing some summer camps, teaching kids entrepreneurship. Still do. But something in me said I wanted to do more, because now the world has changed. Something strange happened. I made the decision to become a teacher. And I'm not talking about like college students. I'm talking about like high school students. And so I went back to my alma mater, Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and taught there for a summer. And that was a great experience. And then I went into the Montgomery County Public School System, and that was an experience. I learned a lot. Different schools have different resources and different roles. And while you're there to teach whatever subject matter you teach, whether it be something that's general studies, specialized knowledge, career, technical education, whatever, you're there for that. But you have the opportunity to affect a couple kids here and there for things that they may show that they have an interest in and all of that. And starting off, that was what I was doing. Pay wasn't great, but that's okay. When you're running an internet business, sometimes you can do things like that. And the thing that caught me one day was that there was a student who was obviously skipping class that wasn't wearing their mask, and we were in mask protocol. And as I'm going to the teacher's restroom, I'm asking the student, could you please pull up your mask and keep yourself safe? Kept trying to ignore me, and I kept asking, could you please pull up your mask to keep yourself safe? After a while, I guess the student was agitated and decided to turn around to me and yell, who you don't know who I am, and started to cuss at me and threaten my life. Now, at that point, I'm like, okay, that tells me that this isn't worth it. Not every school system has kids that are open to learning some really advanced stuff because, they've been in their home in front of their devices and doing all types of stuff. That once they were reintegrated back into the education system of being in classes live, it's going to take some time for them to really get back to being students again. But what I did learn of where I could help was with teachers. In one of the schools that I was teaching in, I met a really awesome teacher, really good friend of mine right now, and is in the WISE community, one of our groups, which hopefully you'll join. There's no cost to doing that. It's just something that we're just doing. And we bonded over entrepreneurship. I told her about all the successes that I had in the past and things that I was doing currently at that time. And she showed me the business she was trying to build, and we started working together. I was giving her tips and tricks and things that she could do. But as we were closing out the school year one time, she comes to my class and we're just hanging out. And then I just said, I feel like teaching right now. Do you want to learn this game of entrepreneurship? She was like, yeah, let's do it. Pulls out her computer, then asks, can I record this? Sure, go ahead. Pulls out her phone, starts recording. I start giving her everything. I give her my systems. I give her how funnels work, email marketing, inbound marketing, direct marketing, all the advanced analytics stuff. I'm just going down the list and just totally ripping her business apart and building it back up. And at the end of just showing the possibilities, I saw who I wanted to help. So going back to my two questions, the first one being, why are we building this? And then the second one, who is this for? So yes, number two, it is for the coach, the consultant, the author, the speaker, the subject matter expert, the thought leader, the product producer, the service provider. If you have a business, this is for you. But the number one part is I built this for teaching entrepreneurs, meaning entrepreneurs that also happen to be teachers. So sometimes you're going to hear me do some teacher talk. Sometimes you're going to hear me talk about things that teachers will relate to. Please don't feel like this isn't for you because I do that. I just want to make sure that the ones that are still learning this world can connect. And sometimes my talk will go in that direction. But if you are an entrepreneur, a small business owner, please, this is something that was made for you. So I want to just share one thing. If you happen to be on YouTube, you get to see this. But if you're listening on the podcast directories, make sure you go to YouTube so that way you can see what we're doing. So we just went balls to the wall and just started the page, the channel on YouTube. Which if you go to youtube.com/@mybiz-needs-help, you can see we went on ahead and just put it together. This is our number 0. You can see we have 3 subs with nothing on it. 3 great people that I reached out to say, hey, I just wanted to put something on there. So this is built for you, and I highly recommend that you subscribe and listen and be a part of it, because it's going to be an interactive experience. We're going to build this around our community, which we have the WISE community, which stands for Wisdom, Innovation, Systems, and Education. These are the 4 tenets that we have for NASB. And this is for you. So keeping this short and sweet because it is an episode 0. Now you know why we made this show, why we're going to produce a show, who's it for, and all of those things. So with that, thank you for watching if you're on YouTube. Thank you for listening if you're in the podcast directories. Of course, YouTube, subscribe, hit the alert button. You know all the good stuff there. If you're in the podcast directories, of course, make sure that you subscribe so it can download directly to your device of choice. And in that, I'll leave you with this 2 things. 1, we're going to do a 4-part series to get this show started. And stay tuned for that. We're dropping that for the beginning of our pre-launch for NASB. And you can expect that the show is going to drop once a week. So there's going to be some community questions that we're going to answer. We're going to have some guests. We're going to do some reviews on some of the tools of trade, some of the books. We're going to make this a very interesting show. Something that I'm really proud of that we designed on paper that we're going to bring out to you guys. So with that, let me go ahead and stop this. This is episode 0. You got to start somewhere. So we're starting right here. And yeah, what you see moving forward is going to be a little bit more than this. So yes, with that being said, thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, thank you for listening. If you're in the podcast directories, and we'll see you for the 4-part series to get this show started. See you soon, or speak with you soon, whichever comes first. I don't know right now. We'll figure that out.